it was an amazing night. I don't even think he even knew who I was, but it was amazing. Yeah.
What did you get from Keith? Because we talked about George, and you brought George up and Keith in the same sentence. Like, for me, like, when I listen to Keith, and I'm just an amateur guitar player, and I don't know about all those open tunings, but he just chooses the weirdest moments to fill the gap.
Yeah.
And he's got his own groove, and it seems like Charlie's following him.
Right.
But it's no one plays like that, but you can't really explain it. Can you?
I could probably try to explain it, but I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
It's his instinctual way of playing. But, speaking of Chuck Berry, and you mentioned it.
Okay.
If you think about it, George Harrison and Keith, in the beginning, both did Chuck Berry songs.
That's right.
And they both picked up on that. Keith took it. I mean, the interesting thing about the tunings and all that I found, I loved the Stones from the beginning. Before he was doing the open tuning, he was doing more of a Chuck Berry kind of stuff, and the songs, also the writing.
Yeah.
But what's beautiful about what Keith did is about, 4 years into his career, he reinvented his whole style with that open tuning.
Right.
The Street Fighting Man. And
I think Ry Cooder gave it to him.
Yeah. So, and that's it's hard to do, to get good once, but then to recreate yourself and go past it twice is really amazing.
With that open tuning, you ever fuck around with that?
Oh, yeah, I use it all the time.
Was it a D?
Well, there's different ones.
Yeah. Which one does he use?
G is the one I'm more familiar. G and A.
And Muddy used a G too, right?
Well, yeah, they all used them all, I guess. E, G,
right.
Just tune it to an open chord, whatever chord.
And what does that get you?
It gets you a harmonic. It gets you a full sound.
Right.
Without having to push your fingers down.
Right.
All your fingers. You just put one and clang. There it is. This big full ringing chord.
Yeah.
And then you're forced to come up with things on top of that.
Right.
So it pushes you into different voicings and feels and things.
Yeah. Did you use some of that on this record?
Oh, on this record.
Or you don't even think about it
I don't think
anymore.
I used the open tunings on this record, but on the Heartbreakers over the years, I used it a few times.
Yeah. And where are you at with between finger picking and pick picking? I've been talking to a lot of dudes now. Everyone's into the playing with the fingers now. 2 fingers.
It's interesting you say that because I find as I get older, I don't pick up the pick as much as I used to. I'll just play with my fingers. And
you a 2-finger guy?
2, 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Sometimes 1.
Yeah.
Whatever is in the space to get the job done.
Yeah. I mean, just a different sound when you're just picking with your thumb, right?
Yeah. Well, I learned when I first started finger picking, I liked Chet Atkins, and I had the thumb pick, and
my God.
I could never get the cumbersome thing with the picks and the thumb pick, so I just threw that away and started playing with my thumb. But I learned the stuff without the pick, and so I can play with my thumb.
You can do Chet Atkins, those riffs?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I can show you something later. But I learned those records, some of those songs. I wanted to know how to do that.
Yeah.
The reason was when I first started playing guitar, my relatives would come over and I go, I'm learning the guitar and play us something.
Yeah.
Here's a D.
Right. You got to figure out how to impress them.
Here's a lick.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, great. And they walk away. And
right.
If next time they come over, I'm going to play the whole song, bass and rhythm and melody, Chet Atkins.
Oh, yeah.
So I forced myself to learn that so I wouldn't be embarrassed. Oh, here's one. Dun, 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 dun. And they go, whoa, how do you do that?
Yeah. If you do a whole Chet Atkins run. And then you've got that skill set.
Yeah. And it taught me coordination, and it's just, part of learning.
And what do you, like, you spent a lot of time with Dylan, I guess, huh?
Quite a bit, several years. We toured around. Yeah.
With the Heartbreakers and Dylan?
Yeah, and I've done a few records just with him without the Heartbreakers. And
what do you get what's the sense of him that, like, I mean, he's such a mysterious kind of interesting dude.
Yeah.
What did you find outside of, like, that moment where you're talking about the sort of meeting in the middle on the rhythm thing, on the Chuck Berry thing? What else is what is his magic? What did you learn from that dude?
Oh, what did I learn?
I mean, in a sense of, like, being around it. Like, is it a songwriting trip? Is it a presence trip?
It's all those things. It's confidence.
Yeah.
And it's just, nobody can do what he does.
It's a band leader thing, too?
Yeah. One thing I learned from him that was a little awkward at first was that when he was touring with us, we rehearsed and learned a lot of songs in a certain way.
Right.
If we get on stage, he might change it.
Right.
He was brave. That's the word. He's brave. The Heartbreakers, if we had a song, it works like this. We're going to play it like this because we don't want to lose them.
Uh-huh.
And he kind of thought, well, I'm going to do what I want to do. And if I lose them, I probably won't, but I'm not worried about it.
I'll get them back.
He had that. Yeah, I'll get them back. They'll pay for that. But I think it was just a courage and bravery and everything he did that was, I hope I learned some of that from him.
So now, when you look back at the catalog, of what were your, like, when you think about the Tom Petty's and the Heartbreakers records, which ones are like ones where you're like, oh man, that one is fucking magic forever? I mean, I know there's a lot of them, but like, which record did you think you guys were really in?
I like that first record.
Oh,
and I'll tell you why.
It was the one I go back to.
It was those songs, and it was us finding who we were. Especially like American Girl. I remember when we did that song, and I heard it back, and I was like, how did we do that? But that's us. Nobody else can do that like we can do that. That's our thing.
Right.
The way he sang it, the lyric imagery, the harmonics in the instruments, we found a thing.
Yeah.
And so that album is and all the songs on it I like.
Me too.
I always go back to that one. I mean, I like all the albums for different songs here and there. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with that one.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That first record?
Yeah.
Because you could feel the magic, I guess.
Magic of discovery. Right. We're finding what we are.
Yeah.
And I think you can hear that in the tracks.
Yeah. And how long did it take to record that thing?
Not too long.
Because it must be different, man. But you guys were playing live, you said, the last couple. But even watching Jimmy Iovine and like dealing with, and obviously you're different than Bruce, but like a studio thing. I recorded something in a studio once, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a job. How do you keep this fresh?
Well, that's a challenge. It's part of the gig.
Right. No, I get it.
Yeah.
But I guess the purity of the first record. And then, did you find that you because of the studio, it becomes different?
Well, it's interesting. The first record wasn't really done in a proper studio. It was done in the Shelter office. They had brought some gear out from Tulsa and set it up in an office. So it was just a room.
Wow.
And then a window and a little room that they made into a control room.
Yeah.
And it was like a garage, really. We were they were learning how to record as we were learning how to play and write.
Wow.
And so when you get into a sterile studio, it can be a real challenge to keep the energy and spark going.
Yeah, I bet.
But
that's part of the job.
That's the hardest part of it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You mention it.
Yeah, and playing live, you love it.
Oh, I love playing live. Yeah, I'll never stop.
I can't believe how many dates you guys must have done on the road all the time.
Yeah, I think about that too.
I don't know how you guys hit the notes, hit them right every time, but I guess that's the job too, huh?
Well, you love it. You love something, you do it.
Yeah.
I love playing, and I just can't imagine stopping, and I'm looking forward to this. I don't care if there's two people there. I'm going to show up and play.
Yeah. The good thing about that, when you're in a band, is like there may be two people out there, but you got all your guys over here.
There you go, yeah.
And we're going to play. Well, man, it was great talking to you.
You too.
And I really hope I wish you all the success in the world. And
well, when we play the Troubadour, come down and see us.
Yeah, I definitely will. I love your music. I love
it's a really good band.
You're doing yourself, and I love all the shit you did with Tom. And thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Mike Campbell. Nice guy. Good guitar player. The Dirty Knobs Reckless Abandon is now available wherever you get your music. And don't forget, Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. 40% off any Simply Safe system and a free security camera. The system has an arsenal of sensors and cameras that protect every inch of your home. You can set it up yourself in about 30 minutes. Get 40% off Simply Safe plus a free security camera today by visiting simplysafe.com/WTF. That's simplysafe.com/WTF. And now let's do some shoegazing. Eleanor lives. Monkey lives. LaFonda.